And there it is, folks. You're watching something, you're watching history being made as we speak. We're watching a former president, but more importantly, we're watching an American citizen not being prosecuted. We're watching an American citizen being persecuted. They're going after Trump because they can and they want to. And as Trump would say, they're going after him. They're going after us. He's just standing in the way. All right, let's speak to Donald Trump Jr., Executive Vice President of the Trump Organization. Okay, let's bring in EVP, Executive Vice President of the Trump Organization, Donald Trump Jr. Big day, Don. Wow, just some initial reaction.
Well, listen, just absolute insanity. You see what's going on in Fulton County, Georgia with my father. Yet another indictment from a corrupt district attorney. We see this time and time again. Obviously, you had the debates last night. I was there. You saw Ron DeSantis, who needed a breakout performance after sort of, he likes to steal my father's line about a nation in decline. I think he used basically our campaign slogan 15 times last night. But the reality, he has a campaign in decline. But when asked about what he would do about that weaponization, having to waffle, like a deer in the headlights, total panic, looking around to see what others would do, sort of scary. I mean, if that was the other leading contender up until last night, I don't think that's going to be the case anymore once new polling comes out. But if that was the other leading candidate, not understanding the gravity of that situation, not being able to make a decisive decision without either looking, maybe he was looking for, his consultants or his billionaire donors. But it was pretty sad and pretty pathetic. So it's been a pretty rough 24 hours for America. And honestly, it's been a pretty rough 2.5 years since Joe Biden took office. And you can look at any metric you want, whether that's on a geopolitical front with wars, whether it's on an economic basis, whether we're not better off in a single economic metric than we were under Trump. These are scary times, and people have to understand that and wake up to the realities of what's actually going on, especially our candidates.
And you last night, you mentioned the debate. You were there. You were going to go, and you wanted to get into the spin room to make the case about the two-tiered justice system. Now, I've been to dozens of spin rooms. They're amazing. They let a lot of people in. They let people in who aren't on the stage. They let Democrats in. They let everyone in. But they stopped you because you wanted to talk about that. And when I say they, I mean Fox News. Let's roll a little soundbite from what you went through last night.
They're telling me right now, Fox won't let me into the spin room.
That's what the American people should know. This is the kind of
They're telling him, he works for security here, but they're telling him that I'm not allowed to go in there. Because the candidates that they've been boosting while simultaneously trying to cut down Trump for the last, 2 years, didn't perform as they had hoped. So they can't have someone who can maybe be a representative of my father. This is no different than what we see from the Democrats. It's no different than what we're seeing from the Fulton County DA when they're trying to put a gag order on Donald Trump so he can't defend himself in court proceedings. And more importantly, to function as an intimidation tactic for anyone else who would defend him, where the DA there is then saying, hey, we're going to add you people to the indictment if you take part in this. I don't know, guys. Doesn't reek of democracy.
And so I was blown away that they did that. You have a right to be there. You should be there.
Wait. But Eric, are you blown away? Are you blown away? You know Fox as well as anyone. I'm actually not even a little bit surprised. You've seen that. The Murdochs, whether it's that or the rhinos like Paul Ryan, they want a puppet candidate that they control. It's not about Republican values or conservatism. It's about the power associated therewith. Okay, so remember, this isn't a Fox debate. They're televising it. This is an RNC debate, a Republican National Committee debate. And my father is winning the RNC nomination process by about 60 points right now. And they won't have some of their primary surrogates. Kim and I are blocked at the door. We can't speak and we can't call out the abject failure of their chosen candidate, Ron DeSantis. So it's a truly sick state of affairs. But that's where we are. And that's why so many people are breaking away from that form of media. It's why their ratings are in the tube, because the American people, just like the American people who are watching my father in the indictments, they see through it. There's a reason my father's polling numbers keep going up with every indictment, because the American people understand what it means. They understand it's abject nonsense. They understand that if the Democrats and the people in power in the uni-party can do this to Donald Trump, someone with billions of dollars to defend himself, a huge platform, half the country by his side, they can do it to anyone. And more importantly, if they'll do it to that guy, they will do it to anyone. You know, Trump, they're not after Trump. They're after all of us. Trump's just the guy that's stopping it from happening. And that scares the Republicans in Washington, D.C., the rhinos, and the Democrats more than anything, Eric.
And maybe Fox, and maybe the board at Fox as well. I will tell you this. The numbers are in. Last night's Fox debate, the lowest in history, in their history. Lower than when they did Fox Business debates with your father, but lowest of any GOP primary debate. So your father doesn't show up, their ratings tank, they don't let you in. I guarantee you, Don, I guarantee you if Suzanne Scott, Jay Wallace, or Rupert Murdoch picked up the phone and called Ronna McDaniel and said, let them in, you're in that spin room. Final thought?
No, it's 100%. 100%. But again, they're trying to control the narrative. It's not what the base believes. That's the point. They don't care about those people. They want someone that will do their bidding. You know, you could be a little America First light. You can do some of those things. And again, that was best evidenced by their chosen candidate, who they've been artificially boosting for the last 2 years, Ron DeSantis, and his total failure to perform. The only things that ever hit, the only things he said on stage last night that got any applause were literally stolen right off of the Trump website. Whether, again, he used nation in decline about 15 times. Trump's been saying that for 2 years, talking about it. That's his talking point. We'll use the military at the border. Trump said that like a year and a half ago. Now he's coming along. He can't and doesn't have an original thought. When he was able to do 5-second clips boosted over the last 18 months by social media influencers, they could make anyone look good. But now when you're the guy and you have to speak in long form and you have to do it in front of a crowd, you see it. He's not up to the task. He didn't belong on that stage, and he certainly doesn't belong in the Oval Office.
We want to say thank you to you. And by the way, your dad, Donald Trump, is going to call into Greg Kelly in just a few moments. So he'll give his first words post-arraignment. Donald Trump Jr., thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Eric. I appreciate it.